anyone who drives Michigan's roads knows that they are bad. A task force says that the state needs $4 billion more just to maintain our state's infrastructure. How should Michigan pay to fix roads, bridges, and other water infrastructure?
So that's kind of a loaded question. So if we look at just roads, they're horrendous. They're terrible. You can't even read a book anymore while you're driving. Well, not while you're driving, but while you're riding down the road. And so I believe it's possible to fix the roads without increasing the taxes. First of all, I'll say that. I believe that every dollar designated to roads needs to be used for roads. Lapse funds from monies left over from prior years need to be used for roads, and any extra money in the general fund needs to be used for roads. The 2015 road package, when it's fully implemented, is $1.2 billion. That's 2021. It was thought that that would be enough. I don't know. As I drive and I looked at that report, it's difficult to imagine that that's going to be enough to get our roads to the point where they're in fair to good condition. I would propose that we take some of our income tax, 0.35% to be exact, $875 million, for 2 consecutive years, and concentrate that money on cities, towns, and counties, not the trunk lines, but the counties, and try to get roads to the point where they're in pretty good shape. And I think that if we can do that and use material that will last a long time, and when I was in France for a year, they are similar on latitude, similar weather conditions and salt conditions. Their roads do last a long time, and they use a different kind of material. Costs maybe 10 to 15% more than what we pay here, but the roads last 4 times as long. And so we need to have a good quality material that lasts for a long time, that needs less maintenance. And in addition to that, we need to fix our potholes. Not when they're huge, but like when a dentist fixes a cavity. They don't want a big cavity, they want a little one. And they don't just plop in the stuff. They clean it out, coat it, put the right stuff in, pack it down. It's even with the tooth. That's how we need to fix our roads when our potholes are small. And that will extend the life of roads. When we look at water, the governor's proposed what I would call a user fee for the water pipelines of $1 per year, up to $5 per year, and that would raise about $110 million. I think that's a reasonable thing to do. The pipes that we're talking about replacing belong to the homeowner, and we're helping them collect that money to actually go to do water line, either lead or galvanized pipe replacement. $110 million. Lansing took 12 years to do all their pipelines, and that was about $44 million. So it's expensive, but it has to be done. And so that would be a means to do that. Another, I think, critical issue that's related to this are the toxic sites that we have here in Michigan. I can address that later or now if you'd like.
I think we'll ask you more about PFAS later on. Okay. I do want to follow up on, talking about funding for roads. You said 0.35% of income tax will be used to fix the roads under your plan. Where are you expecting to make cuts in the rest of the budget from that general revenue
So that
source?
would be additional funding. So when you look at individuals and what they're proposing, they say, we need to get rid of our personal income tax. We need to go back to the pre-Granholm days of 3.9. So the 0.35 actually comes from the 4.25 minus the 0.35, which gets us the 3.9 on the income tax. So the question is where does that money come from? And that would come from the over $50 billion budget that we have.
So you're saying roll back to pre-Granholm era income tax, but I'm confused. That amount of money that's left over you're going to use for roads? So
that amount of money coming in would be $875 million. And so I'm suggesting that we use that for 2 years in a row. That's $1.75 billion added to the $1.2 billion plus what we get back from federal and state. That's about $5.7 billion per year for 2 years to get our roads in reasonably good shape, and then deal with the personal income tax.
I see. Okay.
Decrease from 4.25 to 3.9.